All right, hello, what's going on, guys? Here today, we're going to be talking about something kind of big that just dropped recently today. We're going to talk about other things as well. Is a lot of competitive changes yet again that'll be keeping you guys updated. So before we talk about all this, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and let's get into it. So one big thing that was actually somewhat changed, I guess you can see it as a buff, is Hidden Power Fire. Now, a lot of people have looked into it, and Hidden Power Fire, let me explain this because it's gonna be very confusing, and I'm gonna try the best that I can to explain. All right, okay, so here I have a shut on right now. Initially, when you have a Hidden Power Lottie, any form, Hidden Power Gardevoir 2, just go ahead and throw in this into it. I don't even need to put 2 to 2 there. I don't even need to put 2 to 2 here. I just did it there. You would have a 30 IV, so it wouldn't keep you at your max. This is the max right here, 328, and that would be grass. Bringing it down makes it fire. Okay, here's the one thing about it, right? Now, through hyper training within Sun and Moon, through the hyper training process, you can make it now to where you will have basically max speed, but the IV will not change. So initially, it will still be a 30 IV. But the stat doesn't change. If I'm saying this correctly, and I'm trying the best that I can. Maybe it's not like that, but so I've been hearing, and just so from what it looks like in the confirmations, it is saying that, you know, it's gonna be max speed. So basically, how to put this down now: Hidden Power Fire with Mega Gardevoir, you are now going to be at 328 versus 327, which is huge because speed ties. And Hidden Power Lottie, even bigger on the Lotties, both Lottie twins, you will now be at 350, still having Hidden Power Fire instead of being at 349 with Hidden Power Fire. So that's pretty big. You no longer now lose that speed. It was very tedious when you have to learn Hidden Power Fire Lottie, because Hidden Power Fire Lottie, Life Orb, Draco, Psyshock, and Defog, probably the most common Lottie set out there for Latios, and it's just like, it's so a little irritating to run that set sometimes, because like, you don't win speed ties at Lottie unless they're running that exact same like set of Lottie. Otherwise, they're like running a Specs Lottie with no Hidden Power Fire. Well, then you're fucked because they have 350 versus your 349. So you would be in a pretty big issue there. It'd be a little stressful to deal with. It was hard to deal with. And now you can run it to where it will be at 350 for the max speed. For the max speed, you can essentially hyper train. You can now get max speed Hidden Power Fire. It changes the stat, and it will still, I guess, that's why I'm putting it at. I may be wrong there because it's, again, a little difficult to understand, but the stat becomes max is what I'm trying to say. But the IV, it will essentially still be 30, but the stat itself, so the IV will still be 30 here, but the speed stat will be 349. With hyper training, it will be 350. They find a way for that. So hyper train your Lotties, dude. Hyper train them, because they now get a good benefit from it. Other Pokemon like Mega Gardevoir as well, hyper train that. Just any Pokemon now really that gets Hidden Power Fire that you want to run Hidden Power Fire on, by all means, hyper train it to where now you can get the max, absolute max speed. So now Mega Gardevoir's at 328, outspeeding other Mega Gardevoirs, as well as no longer having to be outsped by base 100 mons when you can now speed tie with them. So rather take a speed tie than being outsped any day, because at least you're given a chance. Now, another thing that I want to talk about as well is Burn. It's not going to be on the screen, but it's not really going to be on the screen. No, but I'm gonna talk about it here. I guess I'll try to put it on the screen for editing. Burn, essentially, it now used to take up 12.5%. When you would burn someone, they would lose 12.5% in terms of burn. So if they had lefties on, it doesn't matter, because the burn is still gonna wrap them up from certain points. Or it would, like, if someone's almost dead, the burn would finish them off no matter if they had lefties or not. To where now it only takes 6%. Essentially now it's like the burn's not even there. It's doesn't take as much, and it's like the lefties can just recover it back up. So that's a pretty big nerf to Burn. Burn was huge because it makes it to where all these bulky mons, you want to keep them burned to whittle them down, and it's so good in whittling down because some bulky mons sometimes will be poison types like Amoonguss and Mega Venusaur, so you can't really do anything about that. And good luck freezing. There's no guaranteed freeze move out there. So like Willow, Scald, kind of getting just a little nerfed here, but then at the same time, not really, because we don't know yet, but I'm assuming they didn't touch this, that they still cut the attack in half. So I don't think they're going to really change that. I hope they don't, because it's kind of the point of Burn. I would rather have them remove the percentage of how much Burn is doing over time, 12%, 12.1% used to be, now it's 6%. I'd rather have them do that than to have it to where, you know, they cut the attack, or they just remove that the attack is cut. So, I mean, it's a good status to take damage. It's a good status for really just speeding up a pace of a match. You can't tell you how many sometimes it's annoying to fight these Pokemons, and your wall breakers are screwed. And you know, I guess a good counter you can say to that is don't lose your wall breakers. And yes, don't lose your wall breakers. But at the same time, if for some hypothetical way you lost them, you can kind of beat them at their own game and burn them down. Not even that, you can just burn a Pokemon, and consistently over time they're taking damage. So you would be chilling, but now it's like, I don't know how this is going to affect the meta. I genuinely don't know how this is going to affect the meta. I don't know how this is going to work. Maybe people find new, fresh ways to get around it. I mean, at this point, it just kind of sounds like you want to knock off someone's leftovers now a lot more. Sometimes people just leave the lefties on, you know, not trying to be like, hey, it's okay if I didn't knock off the lefties because burn is doing more than the lefties is recovering. So it's okay. Now that's not the case. So it's like you didn't even give them the burn chance because the lefties will just take it all back up. I don't know. Again, I don't know how it's going to work out within the meta. I feel like now it just kind of sounds like you want to knock off somebody's lefties ASAP. That's what it sounds like, but then there's other ways to get around it. You know, recovery moves, but of course recovery moves can always be used for the burn process. Mega Venusaur with Leech Seed just tend to swap out now. That's what I would do to kind of avoid that. So yeah, there'll be ways to get around this. There'll be ways to make this somewhat a little bit more doable. You know, like, I don't think it's the world's most impossible thing. Sure, it is a burn to the nerf, but would you say they burned? That's not funny. I'll stop. It's not funny. But essentially, I feel like people just find ways around it. Like, it sounds like you just want to knock off someone's lefties now, is what I'm trying to say. You know, just knock it off. Knock it off, and you should be okay. But that's really going to be it, though, for the video today, guys. If anything pops up again, I will cover it and I will let you know. Sun Moon comes out a week from today. I'm hype. Like the video, subscribe. I'm gonna get out of here. Goodbye.